And then the other issue is, I thank the Prime Minister because based on the request WHO made, he accepted. And the request I made was based on international health regulation. And countries are expected to cooperate based on that international health regulation.
And the director of the WHO there, Tedros, saying that every country in the world is now expected to fall in line with his international health regulations due to the hantavirus. You can clearly see, with everything going on from the cruise ship to the stores, stockpiling toilet paper, and yes, that's happening in many stores out there, they're preparing here in America for like the release of an announcement connected to this, where people are going to go into some kind of panic mode because of the projected numbers they're pushing out there through the social media. And this is deadly and carries a kill rate of like 38%.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories unto Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Hakodash, double honors to my apostles and elders of Ray Millstone. They're doing it real well. Peace and blessings be unto the elect. This is Brother Dawudah from GMS Detroit Camp, coming at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Hakodash. Today I want to do another in transit. Today we're going to be going into this HV. Lord's will, this video will be edifying to the elect. All right. Now I called it HV because I don't want to get clipped. You know how they did during the C19. You know, as soon as that thing started coming out, then they started pushing their propaganda. You know, then at a certain point we couldn't speak on it anymore. And if we did, our videos would get clipped and they would say that, oh, this is medical misinformation, you know, and, you know, therefore we had to speak in code. So, yeah, you see what's going on. We see the okie doke, we see the trick, you know, we see the flag on the play, we see what this devil's trying to do. It's the same formula. You know, it's pretty stupid, honestly. It's just, if you fall for this HV thing, you think that this is a legitimate thing in the sense that it just so happened to happen. No, this was orchestrated. This is all planned. All right, and the proof of that is, here it is. If there truly was a cruise ship and it has these individuals that had this deadly lethal disease on it, wouldn't you just keep them on the ship? Wouldn't you just keep them on there and then treat them on the ship? Why would you allow them to land and then disperse? How the hell did that make sense? And then moreover, how the hell did they even get this virus to begin with? And then moreover, okay, they got the virus. How the hell did you find out? You know? How did you find out? And especially so quickly. You know? And then you're now tracking where these individuals are at and where they went to, and you're like, come on, this is just a bunch of bullshit. It's so convenient for them. You know, and they're trying to do the same thing they did during the C19. You know, which we'll see how far this one goes. Because there's been other viruses that have popped up that they've been saying, oh my goodness, this is going to be bad. Oh my goodness. You know, but then it died down. Then something else came. And then, oh my goodness, then it died down. So, you know, we'll see how far they want to take this one. But as is written, 2 Corinthians 2:11, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We know how this bastard gets down. You know, it's the same play. And if you fall for it this time, I don't know what to tell you. The first time you had Eve, not just Eve, a woman in general, but most especially the so-called black woman, she'll be in the car by herself, but she'll still have a mask on. That's called stupidity. But that's how through a lot of these people are. You know, family members was cutting us off, and oh my goodness, you can't be around me if you ain't get juiced. So we're gonna see how far they take this one. You know, and now they're talking about, well, let's play more of the words of Dabu again, because it sounds like they're ready to put another cut down on the people, another squeeze on the people. That's how these devils operate. It's like they don't allow the people that they reign over, which is the whole inhabited earth, the inhabitants of the whole inhabited earth, all right? They don't allow them to rest. You know, it always got to be some new controversy, some new problem, some new something, some new drama. Therefore, the people are always on edge. You know? And that's how these devils move. Let's play this again.
And then the other issue is, I thank the Prime Minister because based on the request WHO made, he accepted. And the request I made was based on international health regulation. And countries are expected to cooperate based on that international health regulation.
They're expected to cooperate. Look, and who the hell made you such an authority? Here it is, the country has its own sovereignty. You cannot tell them, well, we expect you to cooperate. Who the hell are you to violate their sovereignty? If a country doesn't want to cooperate, they don't have to because they're sovereign. You know, but this really shows you whom it is that really rules the earth. It ain't so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese. It ain't, no, it's these guys. Guys on your screen. You know, Esau, Edom. They're the ones that rule the world. All right? That's why they're pushing all these mandates on earth.
And the director of the WHO there, Tedros, saying that every country in the world is now expected to fall in line with his international health regulations due to the hantavirus. You can clearly see, with everything going on from the cruise ship to the stores, stockpiling toilet paper, and yes, that's happening in many stores out there. They're preparing here in America for like the release of an announcement connected to this, where people are going to go into some kind of panic mode because of the projected numbers they're pushing out there through the social media, and that this is deadly. It carries a kill rate of like 38%, and that, well, it comes from rat urine and rat feces.
Nah, come on. If you believe that bit of madness, then you're through. Remember that C19 allegedly started from some bats. Now it's rat urine and rat feces. What kind of madness is this? First off, how did the rat develop the virus to begin with? How did the rat develop this new virus? You know, which then there's other reports. Oh, there's like a different strain. I think I read a report saying it was like another strain, and this has been around before. Like, it's just, if you really believe this, then you're through. Rat urine and rat feces. How did it get into a person? This is crazy.
Now, I shared with you guys before how the X-Files had telegraphed the hantavirus way far in the past. And here recently, when they discovered the dead body of Gene Hackman. What a name, right? What did she die from? Hantavirus. That's when this thing first was planted into the minds of the masses here recently, within recent time. And it kind of snowballed out from there. As you can see here, the meaning in Hebrew or Hungarian. Hanta can mean nonsense, lies, or a scam.
Check that out. Check that out. Because it's bullshit. You know, and this is another ploy, another plot from this devil. The scripture says in Psalm 64, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. You know, this is what these devils do. They have secret councils and get-togethers where they speak about new ideas and new ways in order to oppress the people and to bring about their so-called new world order that they want. Because that's really the end game. That's what they want. The end of the show, to finally achieve their new world order and have, you know, the world underneath their palm and have everyone in subjection, and they rule over the planet Earth indefinitely. This is what they ultimately want. You know, this place, it's if you can't see this, then I don't know what else to tell you. The scripture says in Isaiah 29 that they meet and want you that seek deep to hide their counsel, and that meet in darkness. That's these individuals, right? And they hide their counsel from the general public. They don't want you knowing what they're discussing behind closed doors. Those closed door G20 summits, all right? The different other secret meetings amongst their elites where they speak about different things that they want to implement, so on and so forth. So ultimately, you know, these devils, they're just pushing further and further for their agenda. Every 10 years, there's always a major crisis. All right, 2000 to 2010, major crisis is what? 9/11. 2010 to 2020, major crisis is what? C-19. All right. Now the question is, from 2020 to 2030, what's going to be the next major crisis? They do the same thing. It's the same play. It's the same play. They just keep spamming it. Because why? Because it works. You know, like Eustace Mullins said, these elites they're not prolific. They just have a formula and they just keep repeating it. You know, roughly paraphrasing. That's how these devils move. That's how they operate. Okay? Let's play a little bit more than that'll be it.
Take your pick. You can see clearly what we're dealing with here at hand. I hope people have a plan for anything crazy that was to pop off and that you've learned from all the lockdown stuff and everything they put us through before. Because these guys are chomping at the bit to do something, and it looks like here they go again. They're ready. When they're making statements like this, and like they're making moves globally on this, they're trying to take it serious. But the people, it's how they respond that says where this thing goes. If the people,
right, there's a saying: the real action is in the reaction. You know, so what they're really waiting for is the reaction from the people. That's what they're banking on. That's what they want. All right, because you know this. Look, why do this? You know, here it is. You know, people are catching enough hell with this war in Iran. They got to throw something else at you to further oppress you. That's how these devils move. This is why we need to get up out of here.
reject a bunch of their orders en masse, it will change things. But just remember this. They have wargamed this and beta tested this long enough. It seems they're ready to maybe deal something out there that has a lethality to it.
Yeah, just like in, what's that movie and video game? Not The Walking Dead. Dang it, what's it called? The Last of Us, they showed you that. You know, some deadly disease, I think it was called the Cryptovirus or something like that. Or was that I Am Legend? There might have been I Am Legend. But there was a certain virus in The Last of Us wherein, you know, a lot of people were affected by it and, you know, it started turning people into like these zombies. You know, so, you know, these devils, they might just release some deadly pestilence out here. You know, C-19 was bad. But they got things even more lethal. They got their different scientists experimenting, doing all kinds of stuff.
That would be the next step. And let's just hope that this thing doesn't get out of control with these nutcases.
CDC, the Center for Disease Control, they're the ones that control these different diseases. All right, these different disease outbreaks, they control it. So let's just grab one scripture, just real quick. This is the book of Psalm 64. And 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. Yeah, like putting this HV on the world. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They think the Most High doesn't see them. They search out iniquities. They do different tests, trials, and experiments, all right, to find out more and more wicked things that they can do, all right? And then when they figure out more wicked things that they can do, then they put that forth upon the people, all right? They do their experiments. Oh, I like this. Oh, a good result. All right, let's use that on these people. That's how they move. They accomplish a diligent search. Yeah, they have the different experiments and whatnot. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Yeah, they ain't no dummies. All right. So with that, you know, we're going to keep an eye out on the news and see how this thing progresses. All praises, honors, and glories be to Yahweh, Shem, El Shaddai, double honors to my apostles and elders. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.